everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle, for those of you who are new here. I just wanted to pop in front of the camera and talk to you a little bit before I jump into this video. And yes, you may see me like looking down away from the camera. That's because I suck at talking in front of a camera, so I did type up some notes so I could make sure I didn't miss anything. It's been a good bit of time since my last video. In my last video, I had talked about how I was feeling worse and I would be cutting everything down to probably one video a week. And I had fully intended on posting that one video a week. However, things just kind of spiraled out of control. My youngest son has been sick almost constantly since January. He was hospitalized at one point for an infection, and then it was just this never-ending cycle of he was sick, he got put on antibiotics, he got a little bit better, he went to school, didn't even make it a full week at school before he was sick again, and then back on antibiotics, and it was over and over and over. I want to think he's been through, I don't know, somewhere like 10 rounds of antibiotics since January. Finally, they decided, they discovered he was a strep carrier and decided to go ahead and take his tonsils out, redo his adenoids, because apparently those can grow back. I did not know that. So he did have to have his adenoids redone, tonsils taken out, and a new set of tubes put into his ears. So we had that surgery about 2 weeks ago, and I am hoping that we are kind of on the mend now and praying that this is the end of this cycle of sickness that we have had in our house since January. On top of all of that, with Caden, my chronic illness has gotten worse. I have been struggling with accepting my limitations. I don't remember exactly what I mentioned in the last video. I honestly don't even remember when the last video posted, and I did not check before I sat down to film this. But I did receive an official diagnosis of POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And I am currently under the care of a local neurologist who's kind of helping me figure out how to handle all of this. I'm not really surprised by the diagnosis. I did have a prior diagnosis of POTS back when I was about 14 years old. However, we had thought I had outgrown it because I had a substantial period of time where I didn't really have any issues. But I guess it's back, and it is probably 1,000 times worse now that I'm in my mid-30s than it was when I was a teenager. So we're trying some medications, some lifestyle changes, but it's definitely a slow process, and I would say I'm operating at maybe 30% compared to what I was a year and a half ago. So cleaning and everything has really not been a priority for us over the past few months. So the last thing I was up to doing was pulling out a camera and filming it. It was just kind of, let's do what we can to stay on top of this house while we're dealing with me being sick, Caden being sick, the other kids getting sick because Caden was sick. It was absolutely insane. But now that I'm off for the summer, for those of you who are new here, I am a high school school counselor. So I opted to not work at all this summer. I wanted to kind of focus on me and, you know, helping my body adjust to this chronic illness and trying to build things up so that I can function a little bit better when I go back to school in August. Working has really been difficult for me. I've tried to kind of keep it where a lot of people at work don't really know what's going on, so I just kind of push through. But I go to work, I get home, and then I'm just completely exhausted and done for the day. My poor husband has had to do pretty much everything when it comes to the kids in the house and all of that for the past probably 6 months or more. Now that I'm off of work, I can finally help out more, try to maintain things more, because I don't have 8 hours out of the day where I'm completely exhausting myself. But anyway, I did want to get my channel back up and going, because I have missed the whole process of the filming and the editing and the uploading and interacting with some of my subscribers on YouTube and all that stuff. So I wanted to come back. However, I do want to put a disclaimer out that things on my channel are going to look different because I am no longer capable of doing things to the extent that I was before. I can't stand for extended periods of time. And then if I'm having a decent day and I overdo it, I really pay for it the next day. So I have to like really figure out what my limitations are. So there's not going to be any more like entire house cleaning videos. There's not going to be like a bunch of deep cleaning videos because that's just stuff that I am no longer capable of. I will later on, before, like when I go to start the cleaning for today, I will kind of show you some of the things that we've been doing to try to stay on top of the house, and then I'll kind of zoom in on like how I'm kind of breaking things down and only doing a little bit at a time every day. So the videos are probably going to be pretty short, but I hope my current subscribers will stick around and continue to support me. And if you are new here, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a like and subscribe to my channel, especially if you struggle with any sort of chronic illness or mental health issue or anything that kind of prevents you or affects your ability to function on a daily basis. So, you know, we all need to accept our abilities and just kind of work within our limits. And that's what I'm really trying to do on my channel at this point. Just kind of, you know, understand my limits and only do what I'm capable of doing and not overdo it. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, just kind of as an introduction. So now I'm going to give you a quick look of what the house currently looks like, and then we will jump into a little bit of cleaning. I do have a couple things that I want to focus on today, so I am going to point all that out before I actually start cleaning. So let's go. All right, so what I want to focus on today, for the most part, the downstairs stays pretty clean because we have some daily chores that we do to keep this area picked up. And I find it's easier for me, sorry, my son is pushing me. It's easier for me to stay on top of things if we pick up some things here and there as opposed to letting it pile up. So I do pick up toys and stuff throughout the day when the kids aren't using it. My main task that I want to focus on today is scrubbing these walls a little bit, and then shampooing this couch. So this is the kids' couch, and Caden, after his surgery, would only eat ice cream, and he was very cranky. He wanted to be able to watch TV, so we just kind of let him do whatever was the most comfortable for him. So this couch is absolutely, Caden, let go baby, is just covered in ice cream. So I want to shampoo this real well because that's a job I can do kind of sitting in a chair in front of the couch, and it's not going to overtax me. Once I do that, if I have any energy left, I'm going to tackle the walls. There's a couple spots here and there. Caden, sorry, Caden is jumping and grabbing my camera. So moving on this way, and I hope these shots are not blurry. I haven't mastered the whole moving camera thing yet. The living room is pretty clean. You can see my wheelchair back there. I do have to use that when we go shopping and stuff, and I've also really figured out how to use it to kind of maximize my energy levels. So I will occasionally use that at night when I am cleaning the kitchen because I can sit in that and I can reach the counters and scrub the counters. So this is pretty clean in here. I do need to clean up the table from where Caden had his lunch and probably just give the counters a quick wipe down from where we made lunch and everything. But just to give you a quick look at this kind of shows you. So this fridge is not magnetic on the front, so I just wrote in dry erase some of our daily chores. So in the mornings, my husband will start the laundry, unless he's at work, which he currently is, so no laundry got done today. And then I will make the beds and open all the blinds while my oldest son unloads the dishwasher and puts the chairs out. So what I'm talking about when I say puts the chairs out, these black kitchen chairs are... I told you not to play with the refrigerator. Now you're covered in water. So these black chairs are stackable, so we will stack them in this corner over here at night so that the floors can be done without them in the way. Caden is trying to clean up the mess that he just made. So Gabriel's responsible for putting those out, and then at night my husband does all the upstairs chores so that I don't have to do the stairs until I'm ready to go to bed. And then I do kind of all the downstairs stuff with my oldest son's help, and then our middle baby, he just kind of does some small chores here and there. But since we started this, it has really helped us keep everything in check And so it's just kind of little chores here and there that need to be done and not like massive cleaning. So if we can stick to that, I think that's going to be better for all of us. So yeah, so I'm going to focus on probably the kitchen and the playroom today, and that's going to be it for that video. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one right here down for a nap, and then I will jump into the cleaning.
Think we lost all, but who will take the fall? Who will win it?
All right, so I am starting on shampooing the couch, and as I am sitting here doing the voiceover for this, I realized that I had like no cleaning in this video. There was very little cleaning, so I actually decided to also film my daily evening chores to add to this so that there's a little bit more cleaning content. Because during this part of the day, once I finished this couch, I was just worn out. I did film like an after cleaning clip where I talk to you and tell you what I did. And I am going to leave it in this video because it shows to you like how much this was for me, because I'm out of breath. I can't talk, and you can definitely hear it in my voice. So I did want to leave that in so that you can kind of see some of the things that I struggle with when it comes to stuff like this. So as I was cleaning this couch, I did realize I kind of screwed up. I should have started with the back cushions so that I could sit on the couch and clean. Instead, I started with the seat cushions, so I had to stand up to do that part. That was my son's foot that you just saw a little glimpse of. He came over to me crying because he peeled off a scab and there was blood on his leg and he was freaking out. Apparently blood is scary, so just ignore his foot. Anyway, like I was saying, I did kind of screw up with the couch. Probably shouldn't have done it, but it definitely looked a little bit better when it was done.
Don't regret that.
Now that the couch is done, I am going to go ahead and wipe down the wall. I had originally planned on getting like a bucket of warm soapy water to really clean the walls, but like I said before, I just couldn't do it after this point. But I did want to get those nasty grimy fingerprints off of that one spot by the couch, so I just grabbed a wet cleaning rag and wiped it down the best I could, and just, you know, I had to kind of accept that that was all I could do.
You wake up in the morning, put your coffee on, you stare out the window, pray that I'll come home.
All right, so now I'm just gonna quickly clean up Caden's lunch. I really just wanted to get the dishes into the dishwasher. I do try to load the dishwasher throughout the day, so there's not as much to do when it comes time to do the evening chores. So I'm just gonna dump his food out and load it in the dishwasher. Also, I don't know if you can see them, but I can, and they're driving me nuts. We are having a terrible problem with houseflies this year, and I think it's because we have a doggy door, and it just kind of gets, you know, there's a little gap and they come in all the time. So if you have any tips on getting rid of houseflies, I would appreciate it. But anyway, that's about it for this portion of the video. I am gonna go ahead and play that clip that I was telling you about earlier, and then after that, I'm gonna transition into those evening chores. All right, so that is pretty much all I'm going to be capable of doing today. My Heart rate is currently hovering around 135-ish, and I'm very winded and struggling to breathe. So I definitely overtaxed myself with the couch, and I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to do. I did scrub this part of the wall, but I wanted to scrub the bottom part as well, but since I'm already having issues, I didn't need to be squatting and getting up or anything like that, so that's gonna have to wait for another day. I can definitely tell that the couch is still gonna be stained. It's definitely gonna need another pass, but I've already overtaxed myself, and the hose stopped sucking. So I'm gonna have to have my husband take a look at that and probably have him give the couch another shampoo in a couple days or something. So I did clean up Caden's lunch. I did not wipe down the counters or anything. I need to get off my feet and sit down for a little while, so that is something that's gonna have to wait until after dinner. So now we're moving into my evening clean for the night. This was right after dinner. The kids were upstairs getting ready for bed, and I was just kind of straightening up. Just had a few dishes in the sink that needed to be taken care of, and everything just kind of really needed to be wiped down. So I'm just starting by loading the dishwasher. So I had thought I was going to be able to do all the cleaning this night without any issue. However, around the time that I started wiping the countertops down, I started to feel weak and I could feel my heart rate rising. I think it started getting into like 135, closing in on 140. So I did decide that I needed to go ahead and pull my wheelchair out because I was already feeling kind of weak and lightheaded. And I'll put a little picture in here that kind of shows you what my heart rate looked like while I was cleaning. And most of this was cleaning from my chair. So if I'd have continued to stand on my feet, it would have only gotten worse and it would have gotten higher. And then I chance completely blacking out. 120 is the threshold where I really start to feel sick, especially when I'm barely moving. This video is sped up quite a bit, so you can't tell how slowly I'm actually moving, but I'm barely exerting myself. I did want to push through and get everything picked up because it wasn't really a whole lot to do. My husband was at work, so he wasn't home to be able to help me with anything, and I just knew if I let it pile up, I would be stressed out and anxious in the morning and just feel like things were kind of piling on. So now I'm just grabbing some water because I started to feel like I needed the water. And of course, I grabbed a dirty bottle, so I had to clean it before I could even drink any of the water that I needed. Smiling like that, I can never resist that. Smiling like that, I can never resist it. Anyone knew I was on the bed. So at this point, you're going to notice me shifting around a little bit. It was around this time that my feet started tingling real bad, started to feel numb, having some like blood pooling issues. So I did cross my legs to try to help with that, and it does actually help relieve the pain and everything quite a bit. So I spent most of the rest of the time sitting in my wheelchair with my legs crossed. I had planned on using the Dyson to vacuum the actual rugs downstairs. However, because I wasn't feeling well, I decided to just skip that and run the Roomba. However, there were some chip crumbs in one of the recliners and a few on the floor. So I did grab the vacuum and run it over that just a little bit. And the rest, I just decided to let the robot do it.
Girls doing stage dives, I don't care at all, baby, you got my attention. So you were saying, I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure.
So I didn't really do anything in our office except go in and turn the light off, and now I'm just turning the lights off throughout the rest of the house to start getting the house ready for bed. And then when I ended up trying to get the Roomba to run, I ended up getting an error message, and I just kind of gave up for the night. It did eventually run, but I had to like reboot it and all kinds of stuff before it would run. So you'll see me give up here in just a second. Anyway, that's it for this video. I want to take one more opportunity to thank you for watching it, and I really hope that you will subscribe to my channel so that you can see new videos as they come out. So thanks again, and have a good night. Bye.
I don't